Whatever you are setting yourself up to do, to go through the struggles, to go through the obstacles, to go through the failures, you have to actually want to do it. You actually have to care about the problem that you're solving.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the endearingly fun combo I had with Matthew Lesko in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, because you've missed out.
So you could also have said the wise, happy old man combo I had.
I know.
Who drops a lot of F-bombs.
And also, when we say old, I just want to say, there's nothing, he is not slow.
No. He does not come across as old, and he said, P.S. I'm 81. Yeah. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's feisty and fun and
heck yeah.
And working so hard for everyone. And I was just so excited. And then I had just interviewed him that day, and our friend Michael Unbroken was here at the house, and I was like, oh my God, I just interviewed someone. You should have him on your show. And I just started describing him, and our friend Michael was like, Matthew Lesko? And I was like, he's like the guy with the question mark suit. And I'm like, yeah. That's him. And he's like, stop right now. I want on my show. So anyways, super, super fun. We'll get into that episode in just a second. But today is July 3rd, 2025. And it's National Compliment Your Mirror Day. National Compliment Your Mirror Day is on July 3rd. We live in an image-driven world. Sometimes this can cause us to not notice and compliment a very important person in our lives, ourselves. This day motivates us to look in the mirror and recognize all those things that make us exceptional inside and out. So go look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself a compliment.
Go do it.
Do it now. You can use your phone as a camera as a mirror if you want, but sometimes I do that. Okay, literally next week. Is it next week? I guess it's July 3rd, so maybe a little after a week.
Well, happy July 4th for those in the United States.
Those who celebrate
the independence that we are on the brink of not having.
I'm just going to be really honest. We're recording this while LA is being taken over by people. A lot of misleading information, a lot of bad stuff. Make sure always get news from the people who are on the ground, because people like to spin things. And so anyways, if you're celebrating the 4th of July, happy 4th of July. But in exciting news, on July 9th, I'm hosting a free workout for those people who are interested in Elevate My Mentorship Program. And we'll have a Q&A. We'll have Elevate grads on there who will tell you why they love it so much. And you just want to go to lesleylogan.co/elevate waitlist to get the invitation and come to that. We have at the time we're recording this, 8 spots left, I think, which is not a lot of spots at all.
Not a lot of spots, y'all.
No, and we're actually going to be, pretty soon starting to work out who has what time slot.
I mean, there are hundreds of people on the wait list.
Yeah, several hundreds, 600.
So
for 8 people, for
eight spots, right? Because we started.
But don't let that deter you. That means you should go be one of those 8 people.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're welcome to reach out, now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, July 9th, it's going to be a super good time. We're going to have a free class, answer questions, have some alumni on there. But guess what I'm really excited about too?
Yeah, we're doing Agency Mini, our coaching program that we do, where we help as many people as possible.
Bring it back to me.
Yeah, and we're doing it in 3 days, so you don't have to be overwhelmed by a week-long situation with the Facebook, none of that stuff. So if you've heard of Mini before, this is a new Mini.
If you've done Mini before, you should come back and do that.
Yeah, we used to have a rule that you couldn't, and now you can.
Yeah, this is a special invite. Special invite because it's different. We're taking the concept and we made it better. We made it shorter. We made it easier. We made it faster. All the things. And so, you really can learn a lot in just 3 days with us. And then, There's also opportunities for coaching calls, which we never offer outside of our coaching group, where you can book a coaching call with either Lesley or with me. It's a round robin, so you'll be surprised at who you get because it's just based on our availability. But basically...
Oh, that's cool. So they're just booking it and
they're just booking a call and getting assigned.
Cool. It's like speed dating.
Kind of. But it's going to be great because, we don't set aside the time to coach people who are not in our coaching group because it's already a lot, right? And so what we've done differently this time is we're creating that space, that time. We actually are leaving, time during 6 days where you can book a call with us. And you do that when you register for Agency Mini. So when you're going through and it says like, oh, do you want to join Agency Mini? Say yes. And then during the checkout, you'll say, oh yeah, and yes, I would like to add a coaching call. And so we'll be able to chat. It's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody. I love hearing all the different things that are going on. I just had a coaching call with a new agency member, and she's opening up a bigger space, like a much bigger space than her current space.
Oh, is it who I think it is?
No, not at all. It's somebody
another
new.
One.
So
fun.
They're trying to figure out like, all the mechanics behind that. And what's so fun is that Lesley and I have been able to be there for this conversation many, 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 many times over the years. Plus, we've done it ourselves, right? So anyway, come join us. Go to Agency Mini, prfit.biz/mini, prfit.biz. That's profit without the o.biz/mini. Then we're hitting the road.
Yeah, after Mini, we literally pack up the van and we're going to go on tour. You guys, 15 cities and like 20-something days. Our tour is powered by Balanced Body. And many of the events are sold out. Like a lot of them are sold out. And so, but also on this one, there is an opportunity to join a virtual. So if I've never come to a city near you, you've never had the time to drive a half hour across town, all that stuff, you can actually get tickets to the virtual events we're doing in Calgary. So go to opc.me/tour to see the lineup, the cities. I can name them for you. We're doing Phoenix, San Diego, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, San Francisco, Sacramento, Eureka, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, Kamloops, Calgary, McCall, Idaho, Salt Lake, and Las Vegas.
That's right. I'm impressed. You just rattled that off. I think that's
order.
16, right? Something like that, 15?
Some people keep saying 15, but whenever I counted, it feels like 16. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's a bunch. It's exciting. We've got a lot going on, and we can't wait to meet you in person. So come join us. Go to opc.me/tour. That's opc.me/tour. And then
we've had a lot of people in the UK jealous of this tour. And I'm like, hold on, we're coming your way in September.
Right. That's
so
right.
We come home, we acclimate, then we go into the UK. We have 2 city locations in the UK for our mullet tour, which means business in the front, Pilates in the back. The business is also like life skills.
Yeah.
So
it's not like super deep business in a studio setting kind of thing.
You can be a non-teacher.
One of them is about scheduling, and you can apply that to any element of life.
One of them is about habits.
And the other is about habits. That's right. So anyway, it's going to be awesome. Go to opc.me/UK.
We'll do Leeds and we'll do Essex. And right now we have 3 spots left in Leeds. No, they're not day passes yet available for Leeds. There's only 3 weekend passes left. So we're not breaking those up. In Essex, we have day passes because it's during the week, or you can save money by getting 2-day pass. So go to opc.me/UK. You can come to both because there's only like 2 workshops that cross over. So
you could come to Leeds and then to Essex. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you totally could do that. And then you can continue the conversation because often when you do a workshop and you leave, how often do you immediately revisit that content? Imagine being able to revisit it right away and just take it even deeper, hear it again and like really dial it in. So that's also an option. Then in October, guess where we're going?
Back to Cambodia.
That's what we're doing. We can't wait. Obviously, we love Cambodia. We love going there. We love helping people experience another world altogether. It is just the coolest place.
I love just like getting some time away from the life and chaos that's going on that you like absorb all the time and you're dealing with all the time to just fill your cup up and be amazed about what community can look like in a village and what it can look like to see temples that took hundreds, if not thousands of people over, several years working together. And sometimes when I just feel like there's just no way we're going to solve this problem, that I go there and I'm like, well, they did this. And if they did this, I can solve a problem. So like, it's always it's humbling, but also grounding. And then it really allows you to step away from what's going on and get get a better understanding and then come back into it.
I love it. Well, you're not wrong. It is mind-blowing. It is one of those trips that will change your perspective of life in general. It's amazing. So you should join us. Go to crowsnestretreats.com, crowsnestretreats.com. Come join us. There are still spots for this October, and it's not too late to get your plane tickets. I think Lesley and I just basically bought ours recently.
We haven't bought them yet?
No, we've been looking at them.
We're looking at them.
So we haven't even bought them yet, right? So don't worry. There's room, okay? There's time. So come join us. But before we get into the Matthew Lesko question mark jacket, he didn't wear it in the interview, but
yes, he did.
He wore his question mark jacket?
Oh, yeah. You didn't watch?
No, I did watch, but I kept looking at his epic blue glasses.
No, there was question marks on that suit. That clearly fitted to him suit.
He's a badass.
Wonderfully fitted to him.
Well, anyway, before we get into that, we have an audience question. At Marlene Broek on YouTube says, I wish I could do a Scottish accent because I think her last name is Scottish, but I'm not going to try. She said, hello, I already have a reformer, but my headrest is stationary. Any recommendation for a separate headrest, such as the kind that forms to one's neck? Interesting. Or one that is flat to go on top of it? Thank you so much for your time. All right, Marlene, get ready because I already know what's coming.
So, unfortunately, you all, many people are now making reformers who've never done Pilates before. And they don't know that these things make a difference. So I'm super, super glad you're curious because your headrest is not supposed to be stationary. So what I don't know from this is if your headrest is stationary up or stationary down. My hope is that it's stationary down because then we can get like a wedge pillow of some kind that will mimic a headrest being up. But then you could take that insert away and then you could actually still do overhead exercises. If it is stationary up, you cannot do any overhead exercises. No, there's nothing we can do. I don't even know what you can do because I don't have a picture of a reformer. I don't know if it has hinges. You could add anything, unclear. So what I will say is I'm just going to assume your headrest is stationary down for the rest of this conversation. You don't want a pillow or headrest that forms to your neck because we're not actually trying to support the neck in that way. We're actually, when we have the headrest up, it's meant to tilt your head in such a way so your neck can relax, but your upper abs can engage without us even telling you. That's why the headrest is up for footwork, for frogs and circles, for running, for pelvic lift. Your headrest is up so that you just have this nice little support to help you engage your upper abs without you using your neck. It's really quite cool. He's very fast. So anyways, and it's down when you're not using it. So you can do overhead exercises, you can put your box on top, things like that. So I would look into, Marlene, some sort of like foam wedge that you can cut to the size of your headrest. That is probably the best thing.
Foam.
I would definitely say something firm. You don't want it to be like a pillow.
Right. So like I'm thinking about your baby chair and that little funny like wedge that you have for the baby chair.
Yeah.
Kind of would be like that. So like, and that wedge, you're sitting on it and it doesn't move. Like it doesn't give. It literally is intended to level out the baby chair. Yeah. So in this case, you'd want something that's firm like that as well.
Yeah. Very firm. Like
and
you
then
could
you'd
even
be basically just taking it on and off.
I mean, I would imagine like if you have someone handy in your life with like a really cool saw that could like take a yoga block and like slice it from a short end to the long end.
Yoga block. I bet you could modify a yoga block to make your own wedge.
Yeah, and I think that some yoga blocks even come like that. So like you'd be, I mean, like there's a lot of things out there, but that's what I would do.
What kind of angle are we talking about here?
Let me just get my protractor out.
Oh.
It's not as
Is it if there's a right angle? Is it halfway?
No,
it's 1/3 of the way. Maybe
1/3, maybe.
So we're talking still, like still, roughly 30%.
Your eyes are still able to look at the ceiling. You're not looking at your toes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So Marlene, I hope this helps you. This is why I did the reformer, how to choose a reformer video, and this is why these are things we have to think about when it comes to what changes did an engineer make when making your reformer. Like did they change the springs for bungee cords? Did they change the foot bar that moves to a fixed vertical foot bar? Did they change that there's no head, the headrest doesn't go down or doesn't go up? Did they change the shoulder rest so that they're round and not actually something that like allows your shoulders to be wide or your foot to be against something that like fills their foot out. Like the Contrology shoulder blocks actually fit the shape of your foot. That's why they're the way they're made. That's why they're made the way they're made. So
I was like, what?
Blah, 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 blah. So anyways, I don't think you have to go buy a whole other reformer, Marlene, but I would do this and then I would have a little savings account for the next reformer. And trust me, someone will buy this off you for the same thing you paid for it because everything goes up in price and they're not paying tax and shipping.
No doubt. Well, and then
little free advice on reselling
when you're ready
equipment.
to go shopping, reach back out to us and we'll connect you with Balanced Body where we've got a discount code for you there. So yeah. All right. If you have a question,
send it to the beitpod.com/questions.
That's right. Send it to beitpod.com/questions, beitpod.com/questions. If you have a win and you want us to cover that win on the FYFs on Friday, you can also submit it right there as well. So thanks for asking that. Stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to dig into the question mark filled combo with Matthew Lesko. Actually, it's more like mind-blowing convo. He has said wealth of information and exuberance for life. I really enjoyed it. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's talk about Mr. Matthew Lesko. At the age of 81, Matthew is still rocking those question mark suits and has spent 4 decades helping people find free resources that they did not know existed, which I kind of think is amazing. He has written over 100 books, y'all. He's written 100 books. He has appeared on shows like Oprah, Larry King, The Good Morning America, and built a thriving online community that connects people to grants, businesses, and funding, and overlooked financial support. P.S. I did math while I was listening. His community is like 5,000 plus people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's
from a string of failed businesses to becoming a recognizable voice for everyday people, Matthew has made it his mission to make support accessible. And it proves it's not about luck. It's about knowing where to look. So we're fired up about that. That was amazing. Tell me one of your favorite things about this combo.
How many things can I talk about? But first, I want to just he emphasized that there's no single formula for success. He talks about how life and starting anything new, this is important, means dealing with failure, struggle, and a lot of guesswork.
Yep.
So my perfectionist, here it is from someone who's written 100 books and is 81 years old and seen it all. Success actually comes from dealing with failure, struggle, and a lot of guesswork. And he believes success doesn't come from knowing everything, but from possessing the energy and willingness to keep trying and learn from failures. Hold on. I have to say this. He strongly advocates that you follow your heart. He says, the way to get anything done is your heart has to be in it. He also said your heart is smarter than your brain and to trust that more than anything. And I love this because I think a lot of people are like, well, what's specifically when we coach people on their Pilates business, I'm like, oh, you know, who do you want to help? Well, I want to help everyone. Okay,
me too.
Right. But who do you want to help? Because if your heart's not in it, you're going to really be annoyed helping the person that you don't want to help. And then if your heart's not in it, you're going to start resenting them and start going, oh, this just becomes another job, right? Your heart has to be in what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's so funny. We were just talking about this recently where I feel like there's the two extremes. I'll do anything for money. I'll only do it if I love it. And, you know, I know I kind of have flip-flopped over this, you know, during my life. And he has a very compelling argument to follow your heart. And I think also, too, you know, he's very savvy. He's very business savvy. So he's been able to figure out how, by following his heart, can he also make money. And he's turned it into a mission.
Yeah.
And that mission has attracted other people who are like-minded. And I mean, that is the ideal scenario.
Well, and also if you realize you know, first of all, you know, Big Magic is a great book for everyone to read. And some of your things that you love to do that you're are creative aren't meant for making money on.
Sure.
So I don't think that Matthew or us are advocating that you if you love pottery, that you go, oh, you only make pots and that's how you make money.
Sure.
But that whatever you are setting yourself up to do, to go through the struggles, to go through the obstacles, to go through the failures, you have to actually want to do it. You actually have to care about the problem that you're solving. If you don't care, you're not going to be able to handle those obstacles. You're not going to be able to go through it. You'll get a door slammed in your face and you'll just go, okay, well, I'm not into it, right? But
right.
So I think that's what he means, that your heart has to be in it. Not everything you love doing will be a thing you make money on, but you gotta care about what you're doing. Got to have care for it to be successful.
Yeah, and I think there was something he said that just went right out of my mind, but he was talking about when he first first off, I had no idea he was in the military, but apparently he was in the military. After he got out, he started
81.
I feel like he's lived like 3 lives.
I don't think you get to be 81 and you weren't, unless you're an asshole draft dodger dickhead. Anyways,
that's fair. So he said he started a bunch of businesses and they failed, and he started another business and they failed, and then he became a consultant, and that somehow, was working, but then he was making billionaires, and he was like, that sucks. He's like, these people don't care about anybody except for themselves, and he was not really enjoying it. And, he said he had this moment, though, where he's showing up for the job, and he's like, someday it's going to be better and more fun. And then hopefully when I'm retired, I'll be able to go enjoy life. And he said, wait a minute, why should I keep doing something that I hate, just hoping that someday it'll be better. I will enjoy it more, or it's going to pay me what I want to pay. He's like, I only have one life to live, and I should start enjoying what I'm doing now. How do I do that? So he said he flipped the script and decided to prioritize having fun. And he said, having fun is contagious. He said it's a little contagious. In fact, just his approach to the podcast was contagious and fun and joyful, and he said it's also, when you're doing something that feels fun, you are naturally motivated to work harder, right?
Yeah.
So, instead of like kicking yourself to go get the thing done that you have to do, what if you could do something that is fun? You're going to do it well because you love doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It made me think a little bit about Gay Hendricks' like zone of genius kind of a thing. Like, I feel like they're very similar, except for this one is like, except for Matthew's teaching us how to get the money we need to go to the thing we love.
Yeah, it's very true. And he's encyclopedic with that as well. Very impressive.
I will say, like, if you listen to episode 400, Gay Hendricks will help you figure out what your zone of genius is. And then Matthew Lesko will give you all the websites for where you can get paid to do your zone of genius. I think that these are 2 must listen to.
Who knew? That kind of a thing, just mind-blowing.
And I think that each state has that. You have to figure out, like, how does your state make money? Right? Because every state's a little different, how they tax, what they tax. So, like, obviously Nevada is not excited to help us unless we are a casino. So since we are not one of those things, we're not getting that. But at the same time, there's still going to be things we can reach out to, find ways, because they do have local people who need.
Yeah, gambling and tourism. That's how Nevada makes money.
Yeah, so that's how it makes money. So but we can figure out okay, well, what does the city need? Right? Because we actually don't live for the Strip is not part of Las Vegas.
No.
It's surprising. It's technically paradise. But you can figure out what your city needs, figure out what your county needs, figure out what state needs, and then go, oh, well, what do they pay? They're paying for that. They're giving out grants for that.
Yeah.
You have to do the paperwork, but not many people are. Remember, I forget her name. Beatty.
Beaty? Beaty?
Yeah. No, Beate. She was on an episode of the Beit Pod, and she got an SBA grant because she filled out the fucking paperwork.
Yeah, I don't have her name there.
Well, she's in the 200s. Let's see how close I am.
Beate.
Yeah.
Shalette.
Yes.
She was. Her interview was 196.
Oh, I'm so close.
Yeah.
And I was thinking Beatty Chalet, but I was like, no, I was confusing her with Aletta Rochat. And I was like, no, but actually I should have said it out loud because I was right. Anyways, so close. Yeah, but if you guys listen to her episode, 196, she actually got an SBA grant for her business idea. You know?
I love that.
Because she did the thing that Matthew said to do, make the appointment, sit down with the people, fill out the thing. Anyways.
Impressive. All right. Well, anyway, stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to dig into that amazing convo you had with him about the Be It action items, which y'all, literally, you have to take notes. It's 100%. You have to go back. You have to slow it down, listen to it twice, write down all the things he said, but we're going to talk about it.
And it's also in the transcripts.
Oh, yeah. We'll put the links in the transcripts, but stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, finally, let's talk about those be it action items. Say it with me, Mindy. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Matthew Lesko? He shared an abundance of untapped government resources, both state and federal. By the way, it's not just the federal.
And I guess for the people who live internationally, I imagine these things probably exist in a lot of places you live.
I'm 100% sure about Canada. In fact, I have a lot of musician friends who would get grants in Canada where the Canadian government was willing to sponsor
We have
art.
had guests who do that.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and that like maybe that's available here too. I have no idea, but I'll tell you, that seemed to me like my college friends were like, I want to make an album. And they literally applied to the Canadian federal government and they got like 10 grand to make an album. And I was in college going, how the hell why can't I get 10 grand?
I mean, they were Canadian, obviously.
Yeah, they were obviously Canadian. So anyway, he shared an abundance of untapped resources. He said that 40% of everything in our economy are organizations that give you free money to solve a problem. I don't really understand that statistic and I can't actually validate that, but he's been doing this for 4 decades, y'all. So he knows all these things. He emphasized that these programs are already paid for with our tax dollars. So it's on us to take advantage of them or the money just sits there. It doesn't get used, right?
Yep.
And also it might not be the kind of thing that they don't just hoard it and pile it. It might be like, hey, you can give up to $2 million away, but if they don't get to keep it.
Yep.
Right. So basically it's on us to go take advantage of what is available to us. And it was fascinating to listen to him talk about the different reasons that someone might want to go talk to these organizations and go through the process. He emphasized that, and this stuff is already funded. It's already paid for. He advised to seek out free government and nonprofit resources directly rather than relying on standard search engines like Google, specifically because they don't actually do SEO or they're gated searches. You can't actually search them with outside search engines like Google.
Yeah.
Right. And so basically he gave us examples like findhelp.org, which is amazing. It's about finding local help for things like food, housing, health, money.
That right there is so amazing. How many people are struggling to afford groceries right now? Like maybe you're not someone who is, but maybe someone is. You can send them that information.
Yep. Findhelp.org. And there will be links in the show notes. So there's more links in the show notes.
So many.
Yeah. He talked about the SBA. He talked about Apex accelerators, which I've never heard of before. He talked about career and job training.
Oh, and turn your VPNs off, y'all.
Yeah. They're if they're a government site, it might have trouble if you have a VPN on. He talked about HUD, which is like another United States government, housing, urban development. And he said there's free financial and debt counseling, right? And they can help you get out of debt.
I mean, I had no idea because like so many of my friends and everyone have like used those companies that can like, supposedly help, but it could affect your credit at the same time. Like who knew if you use the government agency, maybe it would have been different.
I wish I had known when I had a failed business, it would have been really helpful.
Yeah.
Wish I had known. So anyway, what about you? I mean, all those things and there's still more. Okay.
So we said it already. We're going to say it again because it's a beat action item. Once you find a resource, book an appointment. Okay. Matthew said, everybody just wants to fill it out on application online and wait for the money. You can't do that. He said, because you don't know.
What did everybody want to say? What?
Everybody wants to just fill out the applications online. Like, oh, let me just do it online. It's just copy, paste. And he's saying, don't do that because you don't know how the application should be filled out. And like, there's always the little nuances, right? Like we're currently working with lawyers who are filling out legal forms for us to go to Canada.
Yep.
So if we had done it ourselves, we wouldn't know the inside and the nuances to like, oh, actually put this instead of that because this will get you across and that is actually going to be like, ugh, we have enough of those. So like you want to make sure that you're working with someone who's like fighting for you to fill it out correctly, will tell you what certain things mean. I mean, sometimes I don't even know. It's like, you're like, oh, I think that's where I put my business name and it's not. It's where you put your account number or something like that. So just work with the people. They're in the office. I'm sure it'll brighten their day to hear what you're working on, right? What you need help with. Also, they often know the other people in the area.
In the community.
The other resources to help you, right? Like, oh, if I'm not the right resource, this person is. Mm-hmm. If you're starting a business or a nonprofit or a side hustle, the smartest move is to call your local SBA office and speak with a counselor. Again, not something online, not a ChatGPT. You got to go and talk to someone.
Yeah.
And then he also said, talk to experts who...
SBA stands for Small Business Administration, right? So that's a federal government thing, but they have local offices around the country. So you could actually go in and make an appointment to their office. In fact, also too, not that I'm like a huge fan of the big banks, but big banks actually often have training programs for business owners too.
Yes, but we're not fans of big banks because they won't help you get an SBA
Almost
loan.
never will they help you get a loan. But, there are resources available there too. But the SBA is actually like trying to help you get the money.
Yeah, I'm fuck the big banks.
If the big banks, like honestly, the SBA doesn't let you apply for SBA funding directly through the SBA. You have to apply through a bank. You don't necessarily need to apply through a big bank though.
Yes.
So that's the difference there.
Right. So, and then also make sure you have the experts who can help people like you, guide you to the right programs and the paperwork. And they usually do this for free. And, he's someone who loves to help people. So like there's things out there. You're not on your own. Your friends and family might not be the best people to ask, but
sure.
You know what? Go to these offices and go, oh, they can't help you. Do you know who will, who can? Like what else should I search? What should I be searching? Cause I get the right thing. Like they'll even at the DMV, people help me if you just ask the right questions and you're really nice. So trust me, people want to help people.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, what a wealth of information.
I know. I feel also, like we learned so much.
He has like books that are like $20. So like even if you're, if you're looking for more and you want to check out his resources, he has that community. The community he built is like people trying to help people find the right stuff. So, I mean, it's just curious. It's just fascinating.
Sounds super positive.
It sounds really positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't need that in their life? Anyways, share this with a friend who needs to hear it.
Share it.
This is the episode to share. There's so much in there for people. Everybody.
Episode 545, y'all. Share it.
545.
545.
I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh, okay. You totally did. So we already said to share this. So now go be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.